Introduction. Finding happiness through Buddhism. Stop wasting your joy. Imagine waking up every morning feeling restless, as if you're running a race to reach happiness but never quite catching it. Your life seems to pass by quickly, while you're caught in a whirlwind of unfinished dreams and missed opportunities. Have you ever wondered if you're wasting your happy life on worries and anxieties? Now, picture a beautiful morning. You're sitting in a park with the soft sunlight filtering through the trees. Instead of enjoying the moment, your mind races with thoughts about work or personal issues. You're physically there, but your mind is miles away. This is the reality for many people. We let life pass by without truly experiencing the beauty of the present moment. Today, let's explore how Buddhist teachings can help you reorient your life, find lasting happiness, and live fully in the present moment. Happiness is found in the present moment. Buddhism teaches life only exists in the present moment. The future is just an idea, and the past is nothing but a memory. Yet, we often get stuck in regrets about what has already happened or worries about what is yet to come. This makes us lose the richness of the present moment. For example, when you drink your morning coffee, do you often let your mind wander to your busy schedule or unresolved problems? Instead of savoring the rich taste of coffee, you drink it mindlessly. This is why life can feel empty. Buddhist teachings, mindfulness. Study this is one of the 8 components of the Noble Eightfold Path, which forms the foundation for enlightenment. Mindfulness teaches us to be fully aware of the present moment, without judgment or distraction. When we practice mindfulness, we realize that even the simplest moments are full of peace and wonder. Application. The Buddha once taught that every breath is an opportunity to return to the present. Instead of letting your mind drift, focus on each breath and allow yourself to merge with the reality around you. Letting go of attachment, the art of inner happiness. We often think that happiness comes from acquiring what we want, a good job, an ideal relationship, or an expensive possession. But Buddhism teaches, the more we cling to these things, the more we suffer. A famous story in Buddhism tells of a man holding tightly to a thorny branch. When asked why he doesn't let go to relieve the pain, he replies that he fears losing everything if he lets go. This story illustrates how we cause our own suffering by clinging to things that don't bring lasting happiness. Buddhist teachings, impermanence. Anicca the Buddha taught that everything in the world is impermanent. Whether it's wealth, relationships, or fame, everything changes and fades away with time. Clinging to these things only leads to suffering when they are gone. Equanimity, upekkha, this is a state of mental peace, unaffected by gain or loss, praise or blame. The Buddha advises us to practice letting go, not out of indifference or negligence, but to liberate ourselves from the suffering caused by attachment. Application. When you face loss or failure, remember that nothing lasts forever. Practice gratitude for what you have and let go of what is no longer meant for you. The illusion of eternal happiness. Imagine you enter a room filled with beautiful, shimmering lights. At first, they captivate you, but after a while, the lights flicker and lose their charm. This is similar to the way we chase after the illusion of eternal happiness. We believe that external things, like the perfect job, a perfect relationship, or a dream home, will give us everlasting happiness. But, as with the flickering lights, these things are fleeting. In Buddhism, we are reminded that true happiness is not something external that we can own or possess. This idea of permanent happiness through material achievements is a trap. Buddhist teachings, desire, tanha, and suffering. Dukkha the Buddha taught that suffering arises from desire. Our constant craving for external things, whether it's possessions, power, or status, leads to dissatisfaction because these things are impermanent. Contentment. Santosa, true contentment comes from understanding the nature of our mind and emotions. Happiness that comes from external sources, like a new gadget or a fancy vacation, is temporary. But when we learn to find peace and satisfaction within ourselves, we experience a deeper, more lasting happiness. Application. Rather than seeking fulfillment from external sources, Buddhism encourages us to cultivate a sense of contentment from within. By practicing mindfulness and gratitude, we begin to appreciate the present moment for what it is, without the need to chase after elusive, quasi désiré, embracing simplicity. In our fast-paced world, it is easy to get caught up in the pursuit of more possessions, more experiences, more success. But this never-ending cycle of craving often leads to exhaustion and frustration. Buddhism teaches us to embrace simplicity, both in our minds and in our lives. A Zen master once lived with only a few possessions, yet his heart was full of joy and peace. He appreciated the simple moments of life and found contentment in the present, without the need for excess. Buddhist teachings. Simplicity. Parami, one of the key virtues in Buddhism, is simplicity, which encourages us to focus on the essentials and let go of unnecessary distractions. True happiness is not found in accumulating wealth or status, but in simplifying our desires and attachments. Non-attachment to possessions. While material things are not inherently bad, it is our attachment to them that creates suffering. By simplifying our lives and focusing on what truly matters, we create space for inner peace. Application. Take a moment to assess your life. What can you simplify? This doesn't mean giving up all your possessions or abandoning your dreams. Instead, it's about shifting your focus from external achievements to internal contentment. When you begin to value simplicity, you'll find that joy and peace are available in every moment. Mindfulness and daily life. Mindfulness isn't just something we practice in meditation. It is a way of living. Every moment offers an opportunity to be fully present, whether you're eating, walking, or simply breathing. In Buddhism, mindfulness is considered a cornerstone of spiritual practice. It helps us anchor ourselves in the present, rather than being overwhelmed by past regrets or future anxieties. The Buddha once said, "Be aware of your thoughts, speech, and actions, for they shape your reality." Buddhist teachings. Mindfulness in everyday life. In the teachings of Buddhism, mindfulness is not restricted to formal meditation sessions. It extends into every aspect of life. When we engage fully in each activity, whether it's eating, talking, or even driving, we can experience life with a deeper sense of awareness. The power of breath. One of the simplest ways to practice mindfulness is through breathing. Each breath is a reminder to return to the present moment and release any distractions or anxieties. Application. Try to engage in your daily activities mindfully. Whether you're drinking tea, washing dishes, or talking to a friend, bring your full attention to the present moment. This practice will help you reconnect with the joy and simplicity of life. Even in the most mundane tasks, breaking free from attachments. Imagine a beautiful flower in a garden. Its petals are delicate and vibrant, but if you hold on to it too tightly, it will lose its beauty. The same is true for the things and people we hold on to. When we cling to them, we cause suffering. Buddhism teaches us to practice letting go, not out of indifference, but to free ourselves from attachment and the suffering that comes with it. Buddhist teachings. Attachment and suffering. Attachment is one of the root causes of suffering. We often cling to people, possessions, and even emotions, believing they will bring us lasting happiness. But when we hold on too tightly, we create pain and discontentment. The middle way, Majjhima Patapata Buddhism teaches the middle way, the path between indulgence and asceticism. Instead of attaching ourselves to desires or avoiding them completely, we are encouraged to adopt a balanced approach, letting go of attachment while still participating in life fully. Application. In your own life, identify areas where you're holding on too tightly. This might be a relationship, an outcome, or an idea of how things should be. Practice releasing these attachments and open yourself up to the freedom that comes with acceptance. Life will unfold naturally, without the need to control every outcome. The concept of impermanence. Life is constantly changing, just as a river flows and changes its shape. Our lives go through cycles. Everything, our emotions, our circumstances, even our relationships, is in a constant state of flux. Buddhism teaches that understanding and accepting impermanence is essential for achieving peace and contentment. Buddhist teachings: impermanence, anicca, everything is transient. The Buddha taught that nothing in this world is permanent, not even our emotions. By recognizing the impermanent nature of all things, we can learn to detach from them and find peace. Embracing change rather than resisting change. Buddhism encourages us to embrace it. When we accept the flow of life, we let go of the fear of loss and open ourselves to new opportunities and experiences. Application: when faced with change, remind yourself that nothing stays the same forever. Embrace the impermanence of life with an open heart, knowing that each change brings with it the potential for growth and renewal. Conclusion: living a fulfilled life with Buddhism. True fulfillment comes from understanding the nature of life, ourselves, and the world around us. By practicing mindfulness, letting go of attachments, and embracing the present moment, we can live a life filled with peace and happiness. Buddhism teaches that we don't need to seek happiness in external things. Happiness is an internal state of being, accessible through understanding, acceptance, and mindfulness. Let go of the illusions that happiness lies in possessions or achievements. Embrace simplicity, mindfulness, and impermanence, and you'll find that happiness is always within reach. This is the expanded version of the content, integrating Buddhist teachings in a way that connects deeply with daily life. Let me know if you need further revisions or additional sections. Part 8: Cultivating Compassion and Loving Kindness. One of the core tenets of Buddhism is the practice of compassion, karuna, and loving kindness, metta. The Buddha taught that these qualities are essential for creating harmony in the world and within ourselves. Compassion is the ability to empathize with others' suffering, while loving kindness is the unconditional love and goodwill we extend to all beings. Buddhist teachings: the four immeasurables. These are four qualities that Buddhists aim to cultivate. Loving kindness, metta, wishing for all beings to be happy and free from suffering. Compassion, karuna, wishing for all beings to be free from suffering. Sympathetic joy, mudita, celebrating the happiness and success of others. Equanimity, upekkha, maintaining a calm and balanced mind, especially in the face of difficulties. Compassion as liberation. Compassion is not just for others. It frees us from the grip of selfishness and helps dissolve the barriers between ourselves and others. It is through compassion that we develop a deep connection with all sentient beings, transcending ego and selfish desires. Application: begin by practicing loving kindness towards yourself. Recognize your own worth and treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer to others. Once you cultivate self-compassion, extend it to those around you: family, friends, and even strangers. When we act with compassion, we begin to see the world as a place of interconnectedness, where we are all in this together. A simple practice: each day, say a mantra like, "May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace." Slowly expand this wish to include everyone, even those with whom you have conflicts or misunderstandings. This practice helps open the heart and dissolve feelings of isolation and division. The power of meditation. Meditation is a central practice in Buddhism that helps us cultivate awareness, insight, and inner peace. Through meditation, we can transform our minds, reduce mental clutter, and reach a deeper state of consciousness. It is through meditation that we begin to realize the true nature of our thoughts and emotions. Buddhist teachings. Vipassana, insight meditation. This form of meditation focuses on seeing things as they truly are. By observing the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and non-self nature of phenomena, we gain deep insight into the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. Samatha, calm abiding. This meditation practice focuses on developing concentration and tranquility. By focusing on a single object, such as the breath, We train the mind to stay present and reduce distractions. The mindfulness of breathing. One of the simplest forms of meditation is to focus on the breath. The Buddha himself recommended this practice, as it brings us into the present moment and centers the mind. Application. Start by dedicating a few minutes each day to sit in quiet meditation. Find a comfortable space. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. As you breathe in and out, notice how the body feels with each breath. If your mind wanders, gently bring your focus back to the breath without judgment. Over time, you will develop a deeper awareness of your thoughts and emotions. The path to liberation, the Noble Eightfold Path. The Buddha laid out a practical guide for ending suffering through the Noble Eightfold Path. This path is a set of principles that guide us toward ethical conduct, multidiscipline, and wisdom. It is not a fixed set of rules, but rather a framework for personal transformation. Buddhist teachings. The Eightfold Path consists of right understanding, samadhi, understanding the Four Noble Truths and the nature of reality. Right intention, sammasankappa, developing intentions of renunciation. Goodwill and harmlessness. Right speech, samavaka, speaking truthfully and kindly. Avoiding harmful words. Right action, sammakamanta, acting ethically and with compassion. Avoiding harmful behaviors. Right livelihood, samma-ajiva, earning a living in a way that does not harm others or the environment. Right effort, samma-vayama, cultivating positive mental states and avoiding negative ones. Right mindfulness, samma-sati, developing awareness of body, feelings, mind, and phenomena in the present moment. Right concentration, samma-samadhi, developing deep meditative concentration and mental clarity. Application. The Eightfold Path is a holistic guide to personal transformation. Begin with the foundation of right understanding, studying the core principles of Buddhism. Gradually integrate the practices into your life. For instance, practice right speech by being mindful of how you communicate with others. Use right effort to cultivate positive thoughts and actions. And practice right mindfulness by being fully present in each moment. Each step of the Eightfold Path supports the others, creating a balanced and integrated approach to living a compassionate, wise, and peaceful life. Transcending the self, the teachings on anatta, non-self. One of the most profound teachings in Buddhism is the concept of anatta, non-self. The Buddha taught that there is no permanent, unchanging self. The belief in a permanent self leads to attachment, ego, and suffering. By realizing that we are not fixed entities, but rather a collection of changing physical and mental processes, we can free ourselves from the cycle of attachment and suffering. Buddhist teachings. The illusion of the self. We often think of ourselves as fixed, independent individuals. However, Buddhism teaches that what we call the self is just a collection of elements, thoughts, emotions, sensations, and perceptions. None of these is permanent, and none represents an inherent, unchanging self. Freedom through non-self. When we let go of the illusion of a permanent self, we stop grasping at ego and identity. This freedom allows us to experience life more openly, without the need to defend, cling, or protect an illusionary self. Application. Start by reflecting on moments when your sense of self feels particularly strong. Perhaps when you're criticized or praised. Notice how strongly the ego reacts. Then, practice seeing through the illusion of the self. Recognize that your thoughts, feelings, and body are temporary and constantly changing. By letting go of attachment to a fixed identity, you open yourself up to a deeper sense of freedom and peace. Living in harmony with the world, interconnectedness, and dependent origination. Buddhism teaches that all things are interconnected. The concept of dependent origination, paticcasamuppada, describes how everything arises in dependence upon conditions. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything is a result of causes and conditions. Understanding this interconnectedness helps us live in harmony with others and the world. Buddhist teachings, interdependent nature of reality. All phenomena are interconnected and interdependent. This means that our actions have consequences not only for ourselves, but also for others in the environment. Caring for the earth and all beings. Recognizing our interconnectedness with all beings encourages us to live more responsibly, with compassion for the environment and all sentient life. Application. Recognize that your actions, no matter how small, have an impact on the world around you. Practice mindfulness in your choices, whether it's in how you treat others, how you consume resources, or how you interact with the environment. By living in alignment with the understanding of interconnectedness, you contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious world. Conclusion: a life of awakening. Buddhism offers profound teachings that guide us toward a life of peace, wisdom, and compassion. By understanding the impermanence of all things, letting go of attachments, cultivating mindfulness, and practicing compassion, we transform our lives from the inside out. The path to liberation is a journey of awakening to our true nature, to the impermanence of life, and to the interconnectedness of all beings. As we walk this path, we begin to see beyond the illusion of separation, finding true peace and happiness not in external things, but within ourselves. The teachings of the Buddha are not just philosophical ideas. They are practical guidelines for living a life of wisdom, compassion, and inner freedom. The nature of suffering, embracing dukkha. A key aspect of the Buddha's teachings is the concept of dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. Dukkha is the inevitable discomfort that arises from the impermanence and the inherent nature of all things. It is not just physical pain, but includes emotional and mental suffering, such as dissatisfaction, fear, and attachment. Buddhist teachings. 3 kinds of dukkha. Dukkha, ordinary suffering. This includes physical pain, illness, aging, and death. Viparinama dukkha, suffering due to change the suffering we experience when we lose something we love or when we face the inevitable changes in life. Sankhara dukkha, suffering due to conditioned existence. This is the subtle suffering that arises from clinging to the illusion of a permanent self, as well as the anxiety that comes with craving and aversion. The first noble truth. The Buddha's first noble truth is that suffering exists. This is not a pessimistic outlook, but a realistic acknowledgement of the nature of life. Understanding this truth allows us to cultivate wisdom and compassion in response to our suffering. Application. Instead of avoiding suffering or pretending it doesn't exist, Buddhism teaches us to face suffering with openness and mindfulness. Recognize it as a natural part of existence, not as something to be feared or resisted. In times of difficulty, reflect on the impermanence of the situation. Everything, including suffering, will eventually pass. This perspective allows you to navigate difficult emotions and experiences with equanimity. Meditation on impermanence, anicca, can help in this process. By reminding ourselves that everything is in a constant state of change, we are less likely to cling to things that bring temporary happiness or to resist situations that bring discomfort. The power of right effort, cultivating positive states of mind. Effort is an essential element on the Buddhist path. The Buddha highlighted right effort, samavayama, as one of the factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right effort is about cultivating a mindset that encourages the development of wholesome states of mind while abandoning unwholesome ones. Buddhist teachings. The 4 right efforts. There are 4 aspects of right effort. Preventing unwholesome states from arising. This involves guarding the mind against negative tendencies such as anger, greed, or delusion. Eliminating unwholesome states that have already arisen. This involves counteracting harmful emotions or thoughts once they appear. Cultivating wholesome states that have not yet arisen. This means actively practicing mindfulness, generosity, kindness, and wisdom. Enhancing wholesome states that are already present. Strengthening positive emotions and qualities that have already developed, such as love, patience, and clarity. Effort and mindfulness. Right effort is inseparable from mindfulness. Being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions helps you understand which ones are harmful and which ones promote growth and inner peace. Application. To practice right effort. Begin by observing your thoughts and actions throughout the day. When negative emotions arise, instead of letting them take over, practice the antidote, such as patience for anger or generosity for greed. Simultaneously, actively cultivate positive habits, mindfulness, kindness, and compassion. Over time, you will develop a more balanced and peaceful state of mind. The role of wisdom, developing insight through meditation. Wisdom, or prajna, is another essential component of the Buddhist path. It involves seeing the world clearly, understanding the true nature of reality, and realizing the interdependent and impermanent nature of all things. Wisdom is cultivated through meditation and reflection on the Buddhist teachings, leading to deep insight into the nature of suffering and the way to overcome it. Buddhist teachings, the three marks of existence, impermanence, anicca, all things are in constant flux. Nothing lasts forever, including emotions, relationships, and physical object, suffering. Dukkha, since everything is impermanent, it is subject to dissatisfaction, and all things ultimately bring suffering in some way. Non-self, anatta, there is no permanent, unchanging self. What we consider to be our self is simply a collection of elements, body, thoughts, sensations, etc., that arise and pass away. The insight into interconnectedness. True wisdom arises when we understand that everything is interconnected and that the separation between self and other is an illusion. This realization dissolves the boundaries that we create in our minds, allowing us to act with compassion and wisdom. Application. Developing wisdom takes time and practice. Begin by engaging with the core teachings of the Buddha, such as the Four Noble Truths, the three marks of existence, independent origination. Reflect on the impermanent nature of all things, your thoughts, your body, and your relationships. With regular meditation, you'll begin to witness firsthand how attachment leads to suffering and how letting go can bring peace. The concept of karma, understanding the law of cause and effect. Karma refers to the law of cause and effect, which teaches that every action has consequences, both immediate and long-term. In Buddhism, karma is not a moralistic judgment, but a natural law that governs the universe. Our actions, words, and thoughts all contribute to shaping our experiences. Buddhist teachings, the law of karma, every action, whether good or bad, plants a seed that will eventually bear fruit. Positive actions lead to positive results, while harmful actions lead to negative consequences. Intentions matter in Buddhism. It is not just the actions that matter, but the intentions behind them. An action performed with a pure heart has positive karmic effects, while the same action done with negative intentions can lead to suffering. The role of mindfulness in karma. Mindfulness is crucial in understanding karma. By being aware of our intentions and actions, we are more capable of aligning our actions with wisdom and compassion. Application. Reflect on your actions and intentions daily. Are you acting out of kindness? Or are your actions driven by ego, greed, or anger? When you practice mindfulness, you begin to see the connection between your intentions and the outcomes in your life. Make a conscious effort to create positive karma by acting with compassion, generosity, and wisdom in your interactions with others. The path of the Bodhisattva, compassion in action. In Mahayana Buddhism, the ideal is to become a Bodhisattva, an enlightened being who has made a vow to attain Buddhahood in order to help all sentient beings reach enlightenment. The Bodhisattva path is one of selflessness, where one's actions are motivated by a deep compassion for all beings. Buddhist teachings. The six perfections, paramithas, these are the qualities that a bodhisattva cultivates in their journey. Generosity, dana, giving without expecting anything in return. Ethical conduct, sila, acting with kindness. Honesty and integrity, patience, kshani, enduring hardship without resentment. Effort, virya, diligence in cultivating positive qualities. Concentration, dhyana, developing a focused and disciplined mind. Wisdom, prajna, understanding the nature of reality. Bodhisattva vow. The Bodhisattva's vow is to attain enlightenment not only for their own sake, but for the benefit of all beings. This vow symbolizes the highest form of compassion and selflessness. Application. You don't need to be a bodhisattva in the traditional sense to embody the bodhisattva ideal. In your daily life, practice selflessness by being generous with your time, resources, and love. Cultivate patience when faced with challenges, and use your wisdom to help others when possible. Every act of kindness you offer to others ripples through the world, creating a more compassionate and interconnected society. Conclusion. A continuous journey of awakening. The Buddhist path is not a one-time event, but a continuous journey of growth, transformation, and awakening. By understanding the nature of suffering, cultivating wisdom, practicing compassion, and living mindfully, we can create a life of peace, contentment, and liberation. As you walk this path, remember that the journey is not about perfection, but about progress. Each step you take in aligning your actions with the teachings of the Buddha is a step towards liberation and a more harmonious world. The importance of Sangha, community on the path. In Buddhism, Sangha refers to the community of practitioners who walk the path together. This community is one of the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and it plays a crucial role in supporting and guiding individuals on their spiritual journey. Buddhist teachings. The role of Sangha. The Sangha provides a space for mutual support, encouragement, and learning. In times of difficulty or doubt, the Sangha can offer guidance, reminders, and the collective energy needed to continue practicing. The importance of spiritual friendship. In Buddhism, spiritual friends, Kalyamita, are seen as essential companions on the path. These are individuals who inspire you to grow in wisdom, ethics, and compassion, helping you avoid distractions and stay focused on the teachings. Building a supportive environment. A strong and harmonious community is built on the principles of loving kindness, metta, compassion, karuna, sympathetic joy, mudita, and equanimity, upekkha, which are collectively known as the four immeasurables. These qualities not only promote personal growth, but also foster an atmosphere of mutual respect and understanding within the community. Application. Look for or create a supportive Sangha around you. Surround yourself with people who share your values and who inspire you to be a better person. Engage in activities like group meditation, study, or discussion to deepen your understanding of the Dharma. If a physical Sangha is not available to you, online communities and virtual support networks can provide the same sense of connectedness. Remember, the Sangha isn't just a group of people, but a reflection of the collective effort toward awakening. By cultivating positive relationships within your community, you contribute to the overall well-being of everyone involved. The journey of awakening, a lifetime of practice. The path to enlightenment is a lifelong journey, not a destination. The Buddha taught that awakening, or bodhi, comes gradually through consistent practice, study, and cultivation of the mind and heart. Each moment of mindfulness, every act of compassion, and every insight gained brings you closer to a deep understanding of reality. Buddhist teachings, the nonlinear path. The path of awakening is not always smooth or linear. There will be moments of progress, followed by setbacks, but every experience, whether joyful or challenging, serves as an opportunity for growth. The Buddhist teachings emphasize patience and persistence. The practice of mindfulness, sati through mindfulness. We learn to live in the present moment, fully engaged with each experience without clinging or pushing it away. Mindfulness helps us see the truth of impermanence, suffering, and the nature of the self. The practice of meditation, bhavana meditation, is the cornerstone of Buddhist practice. Through meditation, we develop concentration, insight, and the ability to directly observe the nature of the mind. This practice transforms our relationship with suffering, leading us to liberation. Application. Commit to the ongoing practice of mindfulness and meditation, recognizing that even small steps taken daily contribute to your overall growth. Embrace the idea that the path to awakening is not about achieving a final goal, but about transforming how we live and interact with the world. Conclusion: walking the path with awareness and compassion. As we conclude this exploration of the Buddha's teachings, it's important to remember that spirituality is not a set of beliefs, but a way of life. The Buddha's teachings offer us practical tools for navigating the complexities of life with awareness, wisdom, and compassion. They guide us in understanding the true nature of reality and provide a path to liberation from suffering. Living with mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom allows us to live in harmony with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. The path of awakening is not about perfection, but about continuous growth, embracing each moment with kindness and clarity. By incorporating these teachings into our daily lives, we can begin to experience the peace and freedom that the Buddha promised. May your journey be one of deep insight, peace, and compassion, and may you find joy in every step along the way.